Hey everybody, Jay Weidner here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. And if you could join, please do. I need subs. And share and pass this thing around. I want people to see it. Today, we're going to be talking about Ascension. This is my free course, the first classroom of my free course in Ascension. I'm concerned because there are people out on the internet doing online courses charging a lot of money for them, and I know these people. I've spent a lot of time with them, and I know they don't know what they're talking about, and so they're doing a lot of damage. I'm afraid I don't know what they're teaching because I've never ever heard them speak about any of these subjects before. So I want to take the time to actually talk about Ascension, what it really is. But before I do, I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Alice Bailey, Yogananda, Krishnamurti, Alan Watts, Barbara Brennan, Emmanuel Swedenborg, Terrence McKenna, and there's probably a lot of other people I should be thanking. So let's start at the beginning. Let's clear up some misconceptions. These people that are teaching Ascension courses are teaching that we are going to ascend in our physical body. It's going to be an upgrade. Or somehow we're going to get an upgrade, our bodies are, that is higher up, ascended. Now, I don't know if this comes from the law of one, I don't really care, but there is no upgrade coming. You're already perfect. It's the society around us that drags us down and tells us how bad we are. That's what's going on here. We are already perfect. There's no upgrade needed. The idea that someone is teaching that you need an upgrade, that you're not good enough, that is wrong. We are all psychic. We all have superpowers. We just live in a world that just smashes everything down so that you can't even conceive of it. You just have occasional glimpses of your ability, And I think it's very dangerous to teach that there's some kind of incredible upgrade that's going to be coming and we're all going to be better than we are now. We're already perfect. We're already psychic. Cliff High had a software that he developed in which, realizing that everybody was psychic, he watched keywords on the internet and he compared one run of keywords to another run of keywords, and he could start predicting things. And he wasn't predicting them like he didn't have the ability to predict them. He was looking at the collective unconscious, and he was seeing that we actually know what's going on before it happens. So Cliff could he easily predicted 9/11, and he easily predicted the Great Crash, among a lot of other things. And again, this isn't Cliff predicting this. This is Cliff reading data about us, our collective unconscious, knowing that something is about to happen. So we are all psychic. There is no upgrade needed. What needs to be upgraded is the way that society views its members and how we are all victims of a lot of abuse, psychological, spiritual, and physical. Excuse me. The second thing about ascension that has to be said is that you can't ascend in your physical body. There really is ascension. When you die, you will ascend or you will descend, depending on how you lived your life. If you were really bad in this life, then what that does is that adds weight to your plasma astral body. And so when you die, there's so much weight in it that you actually go down. You descend. And so what you want to do is you want to practice, love and compassion and forgiveness and kindness. And then that lightens your astral plasma self. And then that allows it to ascend at death, which is what you want. This is what all the religions at their basic core are teaching, but it's all been lost. And the powers that be don't want you to know this, because then you'll realize how powerful you are and you'll stand up to them. You'll also realize that you're an infinite being, and so they can't kill you. So then you'll stand up to them. And that's how fear is the number one thing that causes fear and hate cause your soul to weigh. And so you don't want to live in either. There's no reason to hate anybody or anything, and there's no reason to fear anybody or anything. You're going to die, and you want to get yourself straight so that you ascend. And I'll get into the ascension process in other shows here, but I just want to get some things out straight here from the beginning. Yes. Only your plasma astral body can ascend. And you can practice astral travel. You can take courses. I think the Monroe Institute teaches you courses on how to astral travel. And so you can ascend while being alive. That's what astral travel is. You're ascending. You're going up into the higher planes. You're meeting entities. You're seeing the future. You're seeing the past. It's an amazing thing to do. I highly recommend it. But astral travel is not ascension. It's partial ascension. You're still tethered to the earth. And I highly advise you to learn to astral travel. I think it's a great way to get practiced for the ultimate thing that happens at death. So at death, what happens is you have this body of light around you. It's your plasma body. It extends out at about arm's length and about this high where your hands are, and it goes out to about there. I'm going to show you some pictures in a second. And when you die, this plasma body falls in as you get closer and closer to death, eventually collapses, goes up your sushumna, which is the tether that tethers you to the larger plasma body. It goes up the sushumna. This is the tunnel that you see when you die. That's you going up through the little tiny filament of plasma. Sushumna comes from the Vedic. It's a Vedic word, a Sanskrit word from the Vedic studies. And you go up the sushumna, and when you reach the top or the pinnacle, remember that this plasma body is around you, and then there's a plasma body around the earth. The plasma body around the earth goes out to about the moon's orbit. So there's 250,000 miles of plasma body outside the earth. And in this plasma body are different planes, 7 planes, according to Emanuel Swedenborg and Yogananda. And when you astral travel, that's where you go. You go to one of these planes. And each plane is different, has different things to teach you, and different things to learn. And you don't have to come back. I mean, you come back by your own choice, but you go up there when you die, and you participate in what they're doing, and you learn things, and then you decide whether you want to come back and do this thing again or not. And that's how the system works. And this is, all the great traditions teach this. The people that I thanked at the beginning teach this. All right, so that said, I want to get into something to show you guys something. This is probably one of the most important books you should ever get. And then this is a newer one that just came out. Barbara Brennan, I believe, is in her 80s. And I don't think she can do much anymore. But she did a lot while she was conscious and alive, I'll tell you that. So what's great about these books is she can see. So there's some people that can see the plasma body. These are our great teachers, and they see the plasma universe, and then they tell us what's in there and how to interact with it, and the hygiene of working with it. And that's what Barbara does in these books. I just love Barbara. I wish I'd interviewed her. So that's the plasma body. That's your etheric body. What's so great about Barbara is that she has artists do these. So that's your plasma body when you're in love. It's shaped like a heart. So somebody in the past saw the plasma body and said, hey, it's shaped like a heart. Or drew the shape and then that being the heart. Friendship. Everything's backwards. Forgot. Then this is how you interact with somebody. That outer sphere is your plasma body. That's what collapses and goes up the sushumna and then goes into the larger plasma sphere. And of course, the Earth's plasma sphere is commensurate with yours. And what you can do is, if you live in a city, your plasma body shrinks. So like when you're in an elevator or a tight space with people, your plasma body immediately shrinks and gets real close to the skin. And when you're out in the country, in nature, it expands. It can be like, hundreds of feet wide. What's great about Barbara, she teaches you how to heal this thing. Because this is where all healing actually comes from. I'm having the hardest time with this. That's where healing comes from, and how you actually heal people. And let's see if there's any more here. This is really cool. This is her. This is what the plasma points look like, right? That's what you see when you're in your plasma body. And then, I'm going to show you some more here. This is somebody attacking you. This is what it looks like etherically when someone's attacking you. That's why you have to have a strong shell in this world, because people are always going to be trying to drain your energy away from you. I highly recommend these books. Come on, straighten up. Here's the cover with the light body. And see, what it is that when you live in the country and when you eat the right kinds of food and when you do yoga and you meditate, you build this thing up so much that in some traditions, they say, of course, that it turns into light. It's the light body. Here is some interesting drawings in this one. This is of course the new one, Core Light Healing by Barbara Brennan. And she shows you different healing techniques. Of course, this is what Reiki is, and what was the one that the Cathars used to do. The Cathars were these people in the south of France that were killed by the Catholic Church. They had a healing, hands-on healing ceremony called the Consultium or something like that. I'm sure someone out there will know. Put it in the comments. Here's some more. Get this stuff, man. That's cool or shit. What? This is the coolest. Look at that. Thank you, Barbara Brennan, for being a visionary and then drawing out this stuff so we can actually see it, for us who are too blind to see. Here's the chakra system. This is very close to the chakra system that I learned in the Vedic, where you actually have 14 chakras, 2 on each side. 14 being a very special number in alchemy. Here's some more. This is the rainbow body. Look at that, isn't that great? The chakras. I hope Barbara Brennan's book starts selling well because I'm doing this. And she certainly deserves it, just for the drawings. This stuff. And then here is your, here's what your light body looks like when you die. This is what it looks like. After it leaves your body and goes up the sushumna and goes up into the plasma sphere, this is what it looks like. And what's really incredible about this is that the photographs that we have of these plasma beings, they all seem to have that hole in the center. It's very interesting. Or some kind of cavity in the center. Let's see if there's anything more cool in here. Whoa. heavy. I can't explain that one, so I won't show it to you. If there's any more in here. And then she teaches you how to communicate more effectively with each other by using your third eye. And so that is my first lesson in Ascension. You now see what it looks like. You now understand that it collapses in as you die. It goes up the Sushumna. After it collapses into a small light, it goes up the Sushumna, out into the larger plasma body, which exists in the earth, which has billions and billions of living plasma creatures in it, which are everywhere, and ghosts and UFOs in most cases are just these tears in the envelope that exists between us and that other universe. And so some people like Barbara Brennan and thank the universe for that can see our bodies, our plasma bodies, and see where they go. And then they write these great books and reassure us that everything is fine. So the big lesson to come away with on this class is there is no upgrade. You're already perfect. Anyone who sells an upgrade is just a con man. You're already there. All you have to do is become that. It's not that hard. Okay? You're living in a dream, and you want to become a lucid dreamer in that dream. What I mean is that this world that we're living in is more close to a dream than it is to anything else. And when you lucid dream, of course, you know you're awake in the dream. And that's what you want to do. You want to become awake in the dream. You want to create your own future. I know that sounds crazy, but you can do it. I am actually living proof of it. You know, I came from a really poor family, and I didn't have anybody rooting for me, and I wanted to be a filmmaker. I didn't want to be rich. I didn't want to be anything else. I just wanted to make films. That's all I ever really wanted to do. And everybody laughed at me back in Omaha when I told them that. When I was like 15, 16 years old, they all laughed at me and thought I was crazy. And you know, I did it. And you can do it too. And I made a success out of it, and you can do it. You can do anything you want. The world is like plastic, and you can mold it and shape it. Its reality is a mirror reflection of what you want. If you want to have money, well, you'll end up with money. I guarantee it. You may be a Colombian drug dealer, but you'll end up with money. So just know that you're infinite beings. You're already perfect. There's flaws, physical flaws, but the light being inside you is perfect. Once you open up to the fact that you are perfect and that you have these powers, you can then use the astral self for your own personal, success in the spiritual realm. In other words, when you astrally travel, you travel up the Sushumna, which is the tether that keeps you attached to the physical body. And unlike dying, the tether stays while you're astrally traveling, and then you can go up and look into these realms. Now, Emanuel Swedenborg, he actually was really a really good astral traveler. You should read all of his books, but especially Heaven and Hell. And he actually goes to hell. He actually went down into the earth, where the people who are heavy live. The souls of the people who are heavy, the astral plasma selves, live in the earth, in the fire and pressure below. That is what hell is. And but they don't stay there forever. It's not a forever thing. You eventually lighten up as you realize what you've done wrong, and then you incarnate, and this time you say, I'm going to do it right this time. I'm not going to hurt you, buddy. I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to lie. And you try to live your life and try to lighten up your soul, so you lighten up your plasma self, lighten up the Ka and the Ba and the Ak is the three aspects of your light body, according to the Egyptians, back there. And the Ka is the self, the plasma self that lingers here for a while after you die. The Ak is the one that goes up into the plasma sphere, and the Ba is the eternal soul that can come back and relive and live up there and come back here, and it's the eternal soul. So the Ak is always shown to be a bird because the bird flies up and goes up into the higher realms, and that's what happens when you die. And if you really want to read a great description of what happens, I think it's in Carl Jung's autobiography, which now just slipped my mind what the name of it was. But he died in the hospital, but he came back. And he literally went up, he saw Europe and the oceans, and he saw a patient in the hospital go by him as he was going up. And when he came back, because he went up and then they revived him and he came back down, he said, "Hey, I saw that guy that was down the hall." And the doctor goes, "Oh, he died just about the same time you did." So, I mean, that's his story. And I mean, he's a, top psychiatrist ever. And he believed in all the things that I'm telling you. So anyway, that's my lesson. My lesson is that you're eternal, you're infinite, you're already perfect, and you will ascend or descend when you die. So that's all your choice. And I hope you all ascend and we can go up to one of the seven heavens and have a good time. We'll party and we'll talk about all the stuff we did down here, and it'll be a lot of fun. I'm Jay Weidner. I want to thank you for watching the very first lesson in my free course on Ascension.